Getting every little drop out of it.
I don't want it to be all fucking.
Dripping.
Oh, okay.
It's a seal.
It's what?
Got the
It's a
cover
seal.
on
It's a
it.
cover on it.
Okay, then. Why is it fucking leaking?
It shouldn't be.
That's why I kept putting my fucking cup back up and catching the drips.
It's probably because of your cup.
I feel like Jerry Seinfeld's buddy in
Anyway,
Beatles.
cheers.
Wait, we're not going to start the episode yet.
Let's take, this is gonna be it with him complaining. It's starting off with him complaining. What do you mean?
All right. Mike, start it up.
We're doing a shout out to shot.
He didn't even
Shout out to shout. Shout out to shot.
Shout out to shout.
Shout out to
Shout
shot.
out.
Shout out.
Shout out to shot.
Shout out.
Shout out to
shot.
shot out to
See?
shot.
It's like a tongue twister,
Shout out
right?
to shot.
Yeah, no, Jerry kept fucking it up yesterday, and he kept insisting that he was doing it right.
Yep. Salud.
All right,
shot.
Cheers.
thanks for coming out. Oh, that was too much vodka.
That's all syrup.
I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
But it's good, right?
yeah,
It tastes so fucking good.
I gotta get in there.
yeah.
Ladies, he's showing what he's working with.
No, I'm not fucking around when I'm fucking around.
And with that,
And with that, everybody, welcome to Effing Around with Mo, Mike, and Joe.
I'm Joe.
I am Mike.
I'm Mo, and we're tonight with Levi.
Hi, I'm Levi.
How you doing today, Levi?
Oh man, I'm feeling good, especially after that straight shot of shot,
Yeah,
which is just syrup. Listeners, this is like, I mean, you should really be diluting this.
Right, no.
Legally. I
Right.
think.
No.
They tell us we have to.
The
And we
sponsorship.
ignore them. Yeah.
Well,
The sponsorship came with a warning.
yeah, we
know, it's-
Which we ignore.
we're called
we-
Effing Around for
we-
a reason. No.
We don't recommend drinking the syrup straight.
See? Watch.
You know?
But it tastes
why.
good, right?
It does. No. Yeah, that slaps.
So the concept started because I don't drink right now, right? I haven't been drinking since July. So it started with looking for a non-alcoholic shot to do with my buddies who are doing a drink.
Yeah.
So then this was introduced to me, and I'm like, I'm going to take a shot of this with your guys' liquor shot. And they're like, oh, we'll try it with you. And I was like, this shit's pretty fucking good.
Very sweet. I
Yeah.
like it.
If
Yeah,
you
it's good.
decide you want to mix anything with the vodka
Well,
too,
I mean-
just let us know also.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mix it in post.
It works. It'll go to the same place.
Right.
Now, I do want to say, originally how we met you was through the JMO ball
Oh,
that
yeah.
we had gone to, right?
Put some respect on that. The Jameson ball.
Jameson ball.
Yeah.
I
He
apologize.
uses full government name.
Call him,
Yeah.
call him
Government-
sir,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Sir Jameson and his
Exactly.
balls.
Sir
Mind,
Jameson
mind
the
your P's and
third.
Q's.
Respect my fatherland.
I thought that's his father. What do you mean?
How dare you?
Right?
JMO is my father.
On my mom's side.
Is
Okay.
that my father's side?
Gelat's not an Irish name.
Phelan is.
No, I was at the. I mean, it's an industry event, at the Jameson Ball.
Yeah.
And whenever I go out to like Chicago-centric stuff, I mean, really, ask any of my friends, I'm always wearing No Laws on Lower Whacker stuff.
Nice, yeah.
Because it's like the only advertising that I do. That and putting up stickers in places I should not be putting up stickers. Like it's
Yeah.
easy to put up stickers in like dive bar bathrooms and like
Right.
coffee shop, side posts and stuff like that. But like, I'll just wear this shit and people will be out and like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And people that get it, like people that have ever experienced Lower Whacker, they get it.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
thing started like I was every time I would be driving around or even just walking through the city with my kids, I would just be like, I would murmur like, oh, no laws on Lower Whacker, like, you know what they say, and no one said it. I was the only, like I said
Traffic
it.
on Upper Whacker.
alright,
I know how to fix this.
There you go.
Oh, you got to get from the Sheridan to fucking, 290?
Yeah.
So we should explain this to anybody who's like from outside of Chicago who does not fucking know what Lower Whacker is. And I
Who wants
feel
to be the one?
Yeah.
I'll do
you
it.
Want it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hell
I mean,
yeah.
you're doing. You
It's your-
created
it's your
you
name
got
stake.
So here's the thing, like Lower
Wait.
Whacker is celebrating its 100th year next year.
Oh no shit.
Yeah,
Damn,
so it
alright,
was
damn.
built originally. It was built in a portion of it was built in 1926,
Uh-huh.
and then it was redone in the 70s.
Because there's a lower.
Yeah.
There's a lower,
Yes.
lower, and a lower, lower, lower.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
There's
they-
also
they
those
go
crooks
to
that
the
take
hell.
your cars that are down there too.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
lower,
that's-
lower, lower.
Right, so lower,
That's
lower,
lower,
whacker is
lower,
where
lower.
they take your cars to
Yeah.
be punished
Yeah.
when
I had
they
to go
find
there
them parked
once.
in spots that you're not supposed to park.
Yeah.
And I've had my car towed twice now in Chicago, and I've dreaded each time it possibly being there. But it only exists when you park like in the Loop or downtown.
Yeah.
Kind
There's
of makes you
other-
wish it was stolen.
Always got me when I was in
Yeah.
River North.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, at that point,
yeah.
if it's
Getting
in
Getting
River
towed
North,
by the
you're fine.
city,
Yeah.
you wish your car was stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so
100%.
bad. I was driving my parents' car. This was like,
And you can't get it then.
you know, this is
You
like
got to be on that
a
title.
year, right? I was like a year out of college, right? My parents are out of town.
Oh god.
You know, I'm like, you know, doing a startup with this guy, and we were meeting some people at this coffee shop in the South Loop, and I parked, and I thought I was good because it had a handicap sticker on the license plate. So I'm like, I don't
Oh
have
yeah,
to worry.
that should be like the get out of jail free card.
It should
Yeah.
be.
Should be.
Except for when the rush hour bans go into effect. It's, you know, no parking from 4 to 6 on certain sides.
Yeah.
You know, that's when they got me. So I left the coffee shop. I'm like, fuck. You know, I'm calling my buddies in law school. I'm like, I need you to get me a fucking. I need you to get me a power of attorney. I gotta go pick up this fucking car.
At
Like,
that point, that's when you call your parents. You're like, I'm so sorry, but it just exploded.
yeah.
I don't know what happened. It
what
caught on
happened to
fire, and then it rolled into the lake.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That wouldn't fly.
yeah.
Only Joe's the only one here who's ever actually met my dad. He's a retired Chicago police.
Oh, so you're the only one that's met his dad and lived to tell about it.
Yeah, he just, you know, I mean, it wouldn't. It
Or
didn't,
at least still free.
right, like, as a kid, it didn't matter if I had company. He had company. Mike, where the fuck is the car? You know, it also would not be the first time they came back from a trip and there was problems from something I did.
Problem. It's called repercussions.
Well, you know, like things happened. You know, dominoes fell.
They were out of his control.
You know, like one time, it was pouring rain. You know, pouring rain. I was having a party. People were supposed to show up soon. I didn't want to walk out in the rain.
Right.
I was 15. So I took my parents' conversion van.
You shuttled people.
No, I just went to the liquor store to buy beer. And I went back to try to park it. This is probably my first time trying to park that fucking boat.
Yeah, man.
And I definitely, like, the next day or later that night or something, like, my mom was taking my brother to the airport to go back to school or something, and there's this big fucking gray line on this big white van. Like, what's that? I'm like, fuck.
Oh man, someone
Yeah.
keyed the van.
It was funny because, like, my brother my brother saw it, and he's like, did you take the car to go do that run? I'm like, yeah. He goes, did you park it afterwards? I'm like, yeah. He goes, did you hit the car as you were fucking parking? I'm like, I didn't think so. Like, Mike, there's a straight fucking line.
So far away. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it always made a scratching noise when you
Yeah.
reversed.
That was the last time I ever had a problem parking one of my parents' cars.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't. Never mind.
Anyway, this is one of the tangents that we spoke about, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Lower
you wanna
Whacker.
talk about Lower Whacker?
Okay. So Lower Whacker, Whacker Drive, like, kind of follows the river, right? It
Yes.
follows the Y in the river, and it goes along the inside of the loop, right? And then there's a Lower Whacker underneath it that has far fewer stoplights. It's basically a tunnel, right? It's a tunnel under Chicago, and it's a great shortcut. However, and there's also like other lowers. So there's like Lower Michigan and Lower Washington, and you know all these other lowers that kind of intersect. And it's a whole other city down there, right? And this is why so many like delivery trucks you won't see in the loop, right? You won't see like food delivery trucks and semis and any of that stuff up inside the loop because they all take the lowers. And it's a lot faster, but they also know how to get around. And if you are driving for like the first year of living in Chicago, or even worse, you're like in an Uber, and clearly that Uber driver is not from downtown and has never driven downtown, sometimes GPS will take you down there. And when GPS takes you down there, it's like, okay, good luck. Because
No
there's
service.
no signal. Right? You
That's
can't
what
get
I've
signal,
heard.
You can't get GPS. You're dead. And it turns, and you can't really feel it turning. So when you think you're, even if you know your cardinal directions, you think you're going west, you're going south.
Yep.
And then, and now you're all turned around. So
Do
good
you,
luck.
do you remember, Mike, you probably remember, back in the
remember?
90s, early 90s when it was green down there?
Green?
So we used to call it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sewer as a kid.
Oh, no
because,
shit.
All right, not green like grass.
No, yeah, but like
No,
they had
green with
that-
ooze.
yeah, it was like that. Remember, it had that tint
Like
for
a
whatever the lights
glowy
were.
green
It
type
was
of-
Well, it had like sodium vapor lights. Yeah, that was one of the first things that they did
Right.
What the fuck?
in like the modern renovation of it was rip out all those lights.
What?
It had like a green
It was
hue.
like the first
Yeah.
generation of like high pressure sodium lights, like street lights,
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
right? Or what older street lights before they were fucking goddamn it,
No,
before
it
they were
wasn't-
before they were LED.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so these ones they had a green like tint or hue to them, sort
Uh-huh.
of, which is weird because light doesn't have green usually
Yeah, right.
coming out. You know, you get, you know,
The
you
color
got
of the glass is what makes
right.
it
You got
fucking-
the white,
Yeah.
you know, and then you got like warm, which is like the reddish colors that you see, and then you
Uh-huh.
got the cool, which is the more white colors that you
Yeah.
see. So it's
yeah,
just,
but the green radiating from it was the cancer. Right. It was just like that's yeah.
That was right. That was like probably all the smog that had like attached to the fixtures.
We didn't know, but that was the filter. It was
Right.
filtering. Yeah, it was actually extracting all the water from the river on St. Patrick's Day. And like,
It
yeah,
would
that's
just go
how
through.
it came through. Yeah.
but it stays green all year.
And,
And-
right,
and- and now you
there was
know
so
it.
much. There was so much filtration. What do you mean?
and,
There was
and now
so much
you
filter out
and
there.
now you know why they hold on to the secret recipe for dyeing the river so tight. The guys who do it here go to fucking Ireland the next day. Like they fly to Ireland and do it the next day or some shit.
I'm actually a transplant. Like I moved here in 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
where?
so I was in Cincinnati, Ohio prior.
Oh, sorry about that.
I
I went to Xavier.
got out.
Yeah, I went to Xavier.
And one of the so you're familiar with Cincinnati and why it actually exists. It exists because P&G has their global headquarters there.
and Chiquita.
And it's the only reason that city
Chiquita
actually is a
Banana.
city. And I got out, and I lived there for like 7 years without working for P&G, and I feel really proud about that. I got out.
Yeah.
It was nice. No, I
My
love-
college girlfriend,
I
her
love
dad
it
was a
in Chicago.
P&G executive. No, it's like they're the largest.
Yeah.
Them and like U.S. Bank or somebody are the two largest like employers in the city.
Yeah, yeah. If one of them leaves, the city's gone.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's damn.
Yeah,
But
the
it's,
city.
I mean, that's like what a lot of Midwest cities are like. You know,
Yeah.
there's like 2 or 3 stalwart companies that kind of hold the
The
place
city
together.
going there. Okay.
Or universities, and like that's how a lot of cities start. But something about Midwest cities is just kind of like it's also where they stop.
Right.
And they don't grow much beyond that. I think Chicago is a rare exception to that, where Chicago is, despite its cruel winters, where every winter I'm like, whoever settled here, like they had to have stayed long enough to be like, "Yeah, maybe this isn't worth it. Like what? Maybe we should just like pull the plug.
See,
You know,
here's
good
my
effort.
thing, because like I've lived all over the country. The weather isn't that much different from New York.
True story. Yeah.
You know, like
Okay.
when I was living in New York and they got hit with this giant snowstorm, I was one of 2 people that showed up to my office. Right? And I'm like, I get there, I'm like, what the fuck?
There's
I'm like,
nothing
God
worse.
damn it.
You're like, I could have stayed home.
Right? I'm like, fuck you guys. You know, like, and then like it even became like a joke. Like they're like, oh yeah, you know, of course you got here. You're from Chicago. I'm like, motherfucker, it snowed more here this year than it did there.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not Chicago that gets hit. It's that part of that's the crack of Indiana right there
Yeah.
in Michigan that get hit.
Yeah.
You know, we get all the benefits of the fucking like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they get the fucking whiplash of the fucking the air. What do you call it? The jet stream whipping around the.
Right.
Were you here in 2010, 2011 winter?
Was I here? I don't fucking know.
When
Yes.
when all the cars got stuck on Lakeshore Drive?
Oh yeah, I was here. I wasn't on
Oh,
Lakeshore
yeah,
Drive.
That's a legend. Yeah.
Wait, I did not even hear.
Oh,
about
Yeah, the
what
snow
fuck?
was falling so hard and so fast that the traffic on Lakeshore Drive, it got to the point where people couldn't move.
Oh,
and
no
they shut
fucking
down the
way.
drive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it happened so fast
Right.
Yeah.
that it was like no one could even get off the road. Like,
Oh,
they
what
couldn't
the
even
fuck?
clear the road. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that same. I was doing my my
was-
master's at Chicago State for education at the same time. I remember that shit was happening on the Dan Ryan, and I remember even getting out of my car to help push somebody. Like, and this is
No shit. Was
you know
that
in the
bad?
express lanes of the Dan Ryan because that's how slow everything was. And
Goddamn.
I had an SUV,
See,
so I
I,
didn't have a
I think I
problem
might have
on-
been like a sophomore in high school at that fucking.
Yeah,
at that
probably.
time. Yeah. I had to put it in there.
He's probably never even been on Lower Whacker. He's so young. We probably should have rephrased it as, you know that scene in The Dark Knight?
I was gonna say I was gonna say that too.
Which that was like most of that was shot practically.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was also they rebuilt a miniature version of Lower Whacker
Oh, no
in a
shit.
studio
That's cool.
to do like some of the explosions and some of the destruction of it because
Yeah.
they weren't gonna.
There's also a
Right,
secret
destroyed
road
parts of it.
that goes from McCormick Place to Lower Whacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of like really interesting hidden stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
You see, that's the thing. Like, if you don't know anything about it, you're fucked. And every time I go down there, I'm like, fuck, dude. Here we go again.
well, but honestly, that's the only way to learn.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
to like go down there, get lost,
Yep.
and find your way out.
I've
That's
never-
really it.
Or
I
live
can,
down
I can
there.
honestly
Either
say
one.
I've never gotten lost down there, but I've never had to take a side street off of Lower Whacker.
That's where you get messed up when you think the
And
side
that's
street-
because that's
yeah.
what happens is people think you can just get right back up,
Yep.
and you can't.
You can't.
You gotta run that course.
Right.
Yeah, and
What
if
I
you
don't
miss
like-
one of the offshoots,
Right.
you're suddenly on.
What I don't like is
270.
like the stacks over by, behind Aeon and over by Aqua. We have to go
Oh,
up and down,
yeah,
back and forth,
yeah, yeah.
zigzags between that and Michigan
Yeah.
Avenue. It's like,
Yeah, that's a mess.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know that shit, you know, like, I mean, we went to school down there, so like,
Yeah.
it was, you know, that's why I mean, like, I was like, I don't think I ever got lost in Lower Whacker, and I'm like, no, I haven't, but that's because, you know, like, when somebody's mom was picking you up or something, and they were going back to the south side, they cut through Lower Whacker
Yeah.
to get through
It's
downtown
fast.
Because
Chicago
otherwise
traffic.
it's like twice as long
Right.
to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you hit Lower Whacker, and all of a sudden you go from Streeterville to fucking Chinatown in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's an amazing shortcut.
And it was a lot easier when they didn't shut down the Harrison Bridge, too, to get over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But that's been shut down,
And
now
it
for
got
years?
easier when, you know, they pushed all the homeless out of there.
Wow.
Wow, Mike.
But
What?
like down in Lower Whacker, that's also where like service industry and deliveries, like that's how you get to work.
Yeah.
A lot of people have parking spots down there that work in the restaurants and work in the hotels in downtown. So that's how you commute to work. You go down into Lower Whacker, you park your car, you walk up the stairs.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that's accessible. Like anyone can go down there. You
Yeah.
can go down there if you want.
Yeah.
There's all those little stairwells. And if you go down one of those stairwells, you'll probably see one of the stickers I put there. Like, you can get down to Lower Whacker.
I love the fact, though, how they have it fenced off from the Riverwalk, so you can see it, but you can't go to it. It's like, it exists, but we're going to cage you out like animals.
It's like reverse jail.
Yeah, exactly.
See this dungeon? You can't have it.
I can't tell you the amount of times I saw people doing that, like, because I worked at Navy Pier all
Oh,
through
yeah.
high school, you know, and then you'd get now and then you'd get sent to Grant Park for, you know, Taste of Chicago
Yeah.
or something going on, right? And then I'd have to clock out back at Navy Pier, right? So I, you know, walk back after the Taste of Chicago closed, and I just remember the amount of people that would like hit those dead ends. You know, I'm like, dude, just go up the fucking stairs.
Yes.
Like, follow the bridge. The coast will not take you there. There's this thing called the Chicago River that's going to stop you. You got to take the bridge.
Wait, so you don't just swim across?
No, it's like so many people think that you can, like, if you're walking along the lake from, like, the museum campus,
Yeah.
that you can walk, you can keep
You
walking.
just keep going.
Yeah.
You know, well, what you're and I'm doing is you're going to end up in what's going to now be DuSable Park.
Yeah. And then
When
you're,
there-
now
and there's-
you're
right.
trapped.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere, there's, you know, it's a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really fun to watch. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not one to be like, no, don't go that way. I'm like, okay.
You know, or just, you know, you're walking through down that bridge, you know, it's the Lower Michigan or lower Lakeshore Drive bridge.
Yeah.
And see all those people that hit the stairwell that goes down to that park thinking they can take that, and it's like a river walk over to Navy Pier.
No, you gotta go
As
back
I'm sitting
up.
there like walking straight past, like, you guys are fucking.
You got to walk up to the bike lanes.
But now I think there's a sign at those stairwells.
It
It
tells
says,
you-
no
okay.
access to
All
Navy
right.
Pier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Riverwalk that way.
Dummies.
That's a,
Right.
You should cover it up with a bunch of stickers. Nobody
get a
sees
big
it.
one.
That's funny. What I'm trying to do, like with the brand with Lower Whacker, is just
Uh-huh.
celebrate like the weird corners of Chicago.
Yeah.
Sure.
Starting
Yeah,
with Lower
yeah,
Whacker, because like I don't know, Lower Whacker is, first of all, it's fun to say.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
who doesn't like saying whacker, right?
Barely knew her.
Barely but I started doing like all these offshoots, and it's really it's kind of the brainchild of just these weird things that I would say, and then my best friend Elena, who's like probably the biggest champion of the brand, like she started making like handmade sweatshirts, and she started bedazzling one of the sweatshirts recently. It's very
no
cool.
shit.
So we would just like start riffing on stuff, and we came up with all these different Lower Whacker like clubs and offshoots.
Yeah.
And that's what we're using as like the drops, right? So we have one that is like Lower Whacker High School, and it just says Lower Whacker established 19, but it looks like it's a high school,
Like a phys ed
varsity
shirt.
Yeah. So we
Gotcha.
got like Lower Whacker, like property of Lower Whacker physical activity. We have one that's it's Lower Whacker Swim Club, which is gross to think about.
So,
You should have a Lower Whacker cross country team or
no,
something.
you need a sport
Lower Whacker
team.
Run Club.
Yeah.
Lower Whacker Lowlifes. That's your new sports team.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
that's
that.
a good. That's
Mascot's
good.
just like a rat with barbells.
I was going to say someone sleeping under cardboard, but that
No, you can't
You
anymore.
can
They,
combine them. It's a homeless man.
Almost rat.
It's a homeless rat. There you
there you
go.
go. The Lower Whacker Lowlifes.
they put the fences up. You can't do it since like the early 2000s.
But if you go on the lower Randolph in that area over there,
when you go lower, it's all again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
there's
anything
even
goes
less
when you're
laws.
that closer
Right.
to hell.
you know that South Shore,
Yeah.
you know that South Shore train line of the walk that you could take under lower Randolph over there.
Oh yeah.
You got a bunch of people living down there now. It was out of the view for the DNC.
Yes. Oh yeah. That was. I mean, honestly, like okay, when the DNC came here, it was like like putting on too much makeup, right? Like trying to dress up Chicago in a way that's like parts of Chicago I didn't recognize.
And,
You mean
and
lipstick
way
on
too
a pig?
quickly too.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And like you forgot about it too.
I was like, guys,
Like,
we,
all of a
we
sudden
knew
it's like,
this was
oh,
coming.
shit.
And they're like, oh my god, it's happening tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, is that not what happened with California too? Like a couple years back, was they just
Same thing.
all the issues that they had, everything was just completely fucking gone, and then the next day after the convention was all
just
gone, it was all right back to there.
Oh, you mean the
So
Olympics?
fucked.
Well, except for
Right? You talking about the Olympics?
No, it wasn't with the Olympics. They had
They do that with the Olympics though too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did, but who was it? There was somebody who was coming by from like a
except in
different
Paris. Remember what they did to the
different
river over
president was
there?
coming from
No, what did they do in Paris?
Remember that the Olympics were over there and they were talking about how clean the river was, and then they did that whole shit day.
outside. Oh yes!
Oh,
yep.
that was hilarious.
And then
Damn.
didn't the mayor of Paris say she was gonna swim in
in
the
it.
Swim
Seine?
in it. Yep.
To
And
show
then
that
there
it
was
was
like
clean.
people who were like upriver were like, all right, so if we all pee into the river at the same time,
Same time.
the current should take our urine to where the mayor is
Was
swimming.
it just peeing?
You
I
know
thought it was
that
more
shit-
than that.
That's why
No,
I
that was
love
just
that
what
Reddit
people were
exists,
talking
because
about.
shit like that can
Yeah,
happen.
exactly.
Yeah.
Ew.
And then I think the mayor was just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not feeling well. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow.
And that's
I
that's
so
pretty
wanted to
much
swim
what
in your
happened.
feces.
They pushed it back like 2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
and then didn't announce when she was gonna do it ahead of time.
Hoping that we'd all forget.
No, because
So
of,
nobody could just do it.
because of all the pissed off Frenchies
Yeah.
upstream from
Yeah.
Paris. Then we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna.
Hey,
Piss
they
in-
should have just been on rotation every day. Like there's a group of them that just dumped in something.
I mean, there's there's
trying to organize
Yeah,
it.
right.
There's protesting and then there's
This day,
like,
you.
dumping in the river.
He's gonna run it like jury duty.
But I mean, at this point, you should know, like, don't piss off like French workers.
Right.
Like, they're
Yeah.
gonna like, if
Take your-
anyone's gonna,
they're gonna take your
pose a
heads.
revolution.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say it's been several hundred years on Westerns, man. They don't learn. They don't learn. The next people who come in charge, they get fucked over again.
Yep.
Every time. It's fucking crazy.
Nobody studies history anymore.
At least they don't learn from
No,
it.
they just make up their own now.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
revisionist.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh yeah.
I actually,
I thought he was going somewhere with
I thought you were
that.
going.
I actually came up with that term, revisionist history. I
Revisionist
invented
history.
that. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
revisionist history?
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Mo invented the shoe bomb.
I was too young. That was actually my dad. Come on.
But the
was
first
a- it was
time
a
he
little
did it,
shoe.
he didn't know how to detonate it, and that's why Bush dodged. See, I
And
actually,
that was a prototype.
I actually remember history.
At least the funny bits. Or the terroristic ones, I don't know.
He did not
People who
connect.
lived through that didn't really live.
Yeah.
Did you guys...
At least they're not alive on paper anymore.
You ever hear the joke of a terrorist calling in sick for the day he's supposed to go commit suicide?
No.
No, it was supposed to be like... I don't remember the exact thing, so I'm gonna fuck
So
it
what'd
up.
your uncle tell you?
But basically, the
inside
day,
joke,
the day I
you
was
guys
supposed to blow
wouldn't get
myself up. The day I was supposed to blow myself up, right? I gave him a phone call. I was like, I'm coming down with a cold, and he let me go through. You know, I lived.
I thought you
It worked.
were going to say they used the phone to actually call the bomb.
No, you got to kill yourself to do it. It won't detonate otherwise. We haven't figured that one out. We're still working on that. Oh, shit.
Yeah, minor details. The minutia, as they call it.
Yeah. The devil is in the details.
Yeah, typically.
All for a bunch of grapes.
72 of them. All right, that's a lot of grapes. You get to eat them when you go to heaven.
It's grapevines, though, right?
I don't
No,
remember.
I don't
Plants?
fucking. I don't know what the claim was on that one. It's always been a fucking stupid thing. So just in case you don't know, they
She
say
probably
that
doesn't.
when you die as like a martyr in
Yeah.
Islam, right? You're supposed to get like 72 virgins, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the translation.
I'm
isn't
looking forward
actually
to it. Yeah.
right. a lot of Muslim people love that, right? So for some reason. There came in a new fucking thing of like an apologist type of
wearing a
thing
scapular.
of it's not versions that you get. What it is that you're getting grapes, and so you're telling me there's thousands upon thousands of people for however fucking long
God,
throughout
that's a
history.
bait and switch. Right there. I never heard of
Killing
one.
themselves over grapes.
Little lost in
Like,
translation.
what
Get
the
there,
fuck?
they're like,
Right.
whoa.
A little lost in translation for you, you know?
A little bit.
I was told.
72,
I know I'm
72,
small, but not that small.
72 juicy grapes in the desert.
How'd
Looks
you see
pretty
that?
good.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I mean, I guess when you put it that way.
Okay.
When you put it that way, I got
Yeah.
refreshing,
I mean,
right?
But that
Good point.
But by 2000, you can order grapes. They probably should have checked. They probably should have checked their Babel fish.
Maybe it was olives. Was it olives?
So the translation wasn't literal.
They needed. They needed a
imagine
little further
somebody-
Duolingo.
See,
Imagine somebody dying.
some people call that an
considered
A.
a martyr in there, right? And they're going over there. They're facing judgment, and the guy's like, "Here are you grapes. Here's your box of grapes." And I'd be so mad. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'd be like, nice. Wait.
Good one. Good one.
You got me. You got me.
They're the best you'll ever have. Dude, I was dying for it though. What the fuck?
Next thing you're gonna tell me that Heaven's Gate had it right. They really got on a
Gates are
spaceship.
Oh man.
They're like, they're fucking like a Walmart brand grapes. You're like, what the fuck is this?
They're the cotton candy ones.
The cotton. All right. then it's
Okay,
worth
well
it.
now.
I don't think that was
Wait.
specified in
Now,
there, so you might.
okay.
God-
Where's your shoe bomb? Like, let's fucking go.
God did not create a cotton candy grape. Okay,
Way to take the fun
They were
out of it,
like-
Mike.
I'm saying.
You're like the condom
Man
for
made
comedy.
it.
You make it like
How do
you
you
can't
know?
feel it all.
How do you know this?
I'm saying. I don't think
'cause
cotton.
I
I don't think
invented
cotton
the cotton
candy
candy.
existed when God created everything.
Maybe he just wasn't
allegedly.
ready. Maybe he wasn't ready to let the world know about cotton candy until he did.
We weren't ready.
We weren't
You know,
ready.
Lord works in
until
mysterious
21st
ways.
century.
That's gotta be like the slogan for cotton candy grapes. God works in mysterious ways.
Cotton candy grapes and Febreze.
Cotton candy grapes. There's exactly 72 of them in a package, like worth dying for.
There you go.
Hey, Hey, that needs to be on the shirt. That needs to be on the fucking shirt.
That's like a deep dive into the inner joke.
A shirt, maybe. Definitely not a shelf, though.
A shoe.
Oh shit.
Nike grapes.
So back to no laws.
No, I don't think so.
I no longer want my company name associated with this show.
So Mo wants to know how you design your shoes.
And are
Is
you?
there like a special feature?
And,
Did they have a pocket?
and do you need an extra hand?
Is the factory nearby?
He's only missing 3 fingers.
He's got a lot of family that will buy.
You know, he's got that
They're
going.
not
for him.
repeat buyers though.
It's a one-time purchase.
Yeah, there's no there's no referrals. Kind of get what you get sort of a deal.
Oh, that's funny.
Holy shit.
No, even like I was telling you guys earlier, I'm gonna get you guys some custom hats.
Yes, yeah.
We're doing a lot of like custom stuff. So what especially with like importing stuff right now is really challenging. So I'm trying to come up with what the pun is, like tear off the tags or like it's something.
Oh,
like,
okay,
right?
nice.
But like what I want to start doing is taking old vintage and reuse stuff and lower whackering it, right? And so putting lower whacker slogans on existing clothing.
Okay.
So I'm starting like cooperating with some local like embroiderers and screen printers. I'm doing some screen printing myself and just like making custom stuff. So it's like bring your own shit to me and I'll lower whacker it.
That's a great
Oh,
idea.
that's cool as fuck.
Yeah, so we're looking
So
at
I
like,
can bring my bum with me.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
you
perfect.
can. Right. Just make sure keep the detonator at home. Yeah.
No,
Well, I don't think you want me to have that in at all, honestly, but all right.
no switches.
I'm not ready for the grapes.
No switches.
I'm not ready.
No. Yeah. No dead
like
man
that.
switches. You know what I'm saying?
So have you noticed red, blue, and kaboom?
And at this point, like Kaboom could really be on either side.
Just depends who's talking.
I drop bag. 72 virgins. Big boom. Yeah, that's it.
Vote for me.
Grapes for all.
That's the platform I'm running on. Right? No, at this point, like
Grape prices have never been lower.
That's good for lower whacker. Prices have never been lower.
You're welcome.
Oh man, one of the like fun questions I like asking on like first dates or like getting to know you type of stuff. I'm just like, okay, if you were in a place of power, like King of Chicago, right? What would be one of your first decrees? Politics aside, but like, what would be one of the first things you'd ever decree specific to Chicago?
No more boulevard. No more middle of the fucking street planter boxes, and no more bike lanes.
Oh,
You know, fix the existing infrastructure. I can't believe I got to drive past brand new bike lanes with fucking bridges and streets that are falling apart right next to them. You know, like
the fucking pothole thing, man. That's a goddamn issue.
Oh yeah, no, streets are now 90% potholes.
I saw somebody who had made a post of like like it's out of Chicago, but like they took a picture of their pothole saying, "Oh, it got so deep that we can see like the old roads." But their shit was like this like deep, and I was like, you poor child. What are you talking about, dude? You're living in wealth out here. Like, you're living like a king.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I had a buddy who had a summer job working for Streets and Stan, basically doing that, potholes and resurfacing streets. Their goal, pretty much, for the day, was to get rid of the asphalt that they have in their truck.
Wow.
No shit.
So he said there are parts of the city where the fucking street is 6 feet thick.
Yeah.
Because they just decided to go resurface a random street that didn't call for it, didn't need it.
Wow.
You know, but it was just, hey, it's empty. We're going to do
Call
it.
it a day.
And then, hey, now you
So-
can call it a
That's
day
just
because
Chicago way.
the truck is empty.
People have done
Empty the
something
truck.
like that. People have done something like that. And you know what the city has done? Go back and take it all out because it's not city ordained.
No, he's talking about actual city people doing it.
Actually, right, but did they have that as like an actual thing to go and do though?
Doesn't matter.
That's-
no,
that's
but I
the
have
thing
heard
about
that.
They have-
where
yeah,
they'll rip
they have
it
the
up.
truck.
They're
They'll
like,
tear it
oh
back
no, we
out.
didn't authorize
Did you hear
that.
about the dick graffiti
Yeah,
guy? at
but
the
maybe-
South
maybe
Side?
now.
Oh, yeah.
Where he
No,
went
this
through
was
and started
years
drawing
ago.
dicks
Yes.
over
Still,
all the
it was when-
potholes.
Goddamn
when I was
American
in high
hero.
school.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's almost like was it the rat mark?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the rat hole.
Yeah, the rat hole.
The
Yeah.
rat hole. What are you guys talking about?
You put enough
Holy
attention on something, and the
fuck,
city
man.
will then do something.
Yeah.
about
Oh,
it,
right. Yeah,
So, like,
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, if
Except
it's-
corruption.
If it's popular enough, right? I think it
that's-
has to be beloved, right?
Oh.
It has to be like something that everyone loves, and then the city's like, oh, okay, yeah,
We gotta
we'll-
stop that right
we'll fix
now.
that. Yeah, we'll
like
fix that.
what was it, the pothole aquarium in New York last year.
Oh yeah,
Pothole Aquario.
yeah, that was
Yeah, so there
cool.
was this basically this flooding fire hydrant that filled up this this area where there's like a tree, right? The one of those like kind of square boxes that they cut into the concrete.
Right.
But like the grate that was over it had been taken out. Right? So it's basically just a fucking
just a
cavity.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
huge.
yeah.
You know, it's a
pool.
It's a dried lake bed.
All right.
So somebody was like, "Fuck this!" They threw fish into it,
Yeah.
and then it started. You know, other people threw colored rocks in there, and then people would come by and drop
that's
fish
cool.
food in
Oh,
there.
what?
Yeah, well, then the city came through and fucking fixed the hydrant, fixed the street, fixed
That's what
the
you gotta
sidewalk.
do. You gotta either love something or you gotta draw a dick
Right.
on it.
Yeah,
and then
yep,
the city,
yep,
and then the city
yeah.
will do something about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But okay, that's a controversial take of removing the bike lanes. I like it because
Yep.
then it focuses infrastructure. I think it could actually make things safer for cyclists too, so long as motorists aren't vicious.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. My thing about that is, not enough bicyclists actually use the lanes anyway.
I certainly
And
don't
Great.
because
That's
it's
one of
never
the things.
clean. It's,
Right.
It's all
and
puddles.
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking winter, and they were putting them in on
Yeah.
Paulina between the United Center and 290.
Yeah.
Like, why? It's a side street. Why do you need curbed fucking bike lanes? You know, like, you know, and then they had, you know, because that was my kind of like shortcut to work to get to the south side. But so I'd have to, you know, that was kind of my route. And it would just piss me off because then they even fucked it up. They had to go back and tear it all out
Oh my god.
and redo it.
No shit.
You know, and it's not city trucks that are doing it, it's contractors. They're third-party contractors that are
Right.
putting these things in now. So it's not even like, you know, you
Yeah.
got work for your city workers to do this shit. You're contracting it out, probably paying 2-3 times more than what it would have cost for you to do it in-house. You know, just because somebody owes somebody a fucking favor somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, or,
You
know.
should draw a dick on it.
It's a good thing I don't have
You should
access
start
to
putting
a
that as a
jackhammer.
slogan. You should draw
He's a
dick on
judge.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lower whacker.
That is-
Draw
that
a
is-
dick on
that's
it.
Vote for me. No, if I were king of Chicago, I would. I hate trying to park, right?
Okay.
And I learned how to drive on my parents' 15-passenger van.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, I can drive anything, but I hate like trying
so
to
you
find
understand.
parking.
Yeah.
And the most frustrating thing to me is finding a good spot, but it's actually 2 half spots because someone parked like a
Yes.
fucking toddler,
Right.
And they are taking up way too much space.
Right.
So what I would love to have happen, and maybe this is more at car manufacturers, just like a little lever or something that I can pull and move the car up to 3 feet. I'm not trying to steal a car. That's fine, but I just want to move it and fix it so that I can have a parking spot. I think that would be
so
the idea.
originally-
Or if someone's being an asshole, I should be able to hit them.
Originally,
So,
as a
they had
kid-
cars
Go ahead.
with metal bumpers.
So you can just like
Yeah, no, and they would all park the cars on like neutral with like the turned wheel
Yeah.
towards the curb. So like that, if somebody needed to move somewhere, like or park in somewhere, they would just then bump into it to push it backwards, to push it forwards, to park in into the spot. Like
Not in this country.
no.
No.
This used to be in like early fucking car manufacturing in the U.S.
So
Not anymore.
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that would you'd have fucking cars flying all over the
Yeah.
goddamn place.
Well,
Could be fun.
yes, which
It
is
could
probably
be
why
fun.
they
parking
stopped
in
it.
neutral.
which is why they probably stopped it. But,
Yeah.
You know, like fucking tap it, and you know, goddamn Model T weighed like what 10 pounds.
But what I think they should have is more like paint like paint lines, like parking lines. So
Yeah,
that
like
people
they're
can-
supposed- like-
Right, like you
Yeah.
see that a lot in the
Yeah.
suburbs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, okay, look, sometimes your car's gonna be way smaller. Sometimes it's gonna
Right.
fit it exactly. Whatever.
That's
But
why
I've
they don't
seen
sell
it.
rattle cans in the city, is because they know I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna. That's my graffiti. I'm just gonna
No, and
draw
that's-
little dicks to like. this
Joe had said that
Dicks
to
are
me.
parking lines.
Joe had said that weeks ago, right? Because I was like, they still haven't fixed it. Because you drove here, you saw the beat up part of the end of the cul-de-sac here, So we're like, he's like, no, he's just draw a dick on it. I'm like, I work in the suburbs. I could easily get graffiti paint, or graffiti paint. I could get spray paint. I could get spray paint from anywhere.
If
It's
if
legal
a
out
dick
there.
shows up in the street, it's Mike,
It's
not
Mike,
me.
You know what it is.
I'm just saying,
He just admitted that he can easily get it.
If you take politics out of it for me, my biggest thing that I would change is, when you're driving on any main street or something, you get the idiots just sitting there with the flashers on the side, and they take up the turning lane. So,
Yes.
especially on Michigan Avenue,
Yes.
when you're going from like Roosevelt to the river, they always sit there on the right side with their flashers on. So you got to go up, then you're stuck. You got to go around them, and they just sit there and
they fuck up the buses.
fuck up the buses.
And
They
that's why
fuck
there's
it.
stupid ass bus lanes that make no
Is it-
goddamn
Yeah.
sense.
Is it
Yes.
not actually illegal too?
It is.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah. So what the fuck?
No,
No,
we
but
should be
no,
able to hit them.
So here's
I mean, like,
Right.
I would make it where you can take it out on them. Like, you could just push them.
Yeah.
Hit them. Like,
Yeah.
goes
No,
back
that
That'll be
should,
their
that-
fault.
should be-
It'll be their fault.
They gotta be
Yeah.
it should
parked
be
in neutral.
celebrated, right?
Yeah.
no, they don't got to be parked in neutral. It's their fault.
I'm saying it'll be their fault.
You
Yeah.
should, you should just be able to slam into them,
Yep.
Yep.
and it's their fault.
Yeah, and they got to
so-
replace your car.
I agree.
Then you
Yep.
total your own car.
Oh, dude, I'm
Yeah.
just
Right.
flooring that
Worth it.
bitch.
Like,
It's
Flooring
like
that
you
bitch.
want a new car, hit a guy who's an idiot.
So Levi, when you were saying, or you should be able to hit them, I remember as a little kid and being like, going on family trips or whatever, and being stuck in traffic, or like you're looking out the window, right, and you just see shit that you see. I had this thought as a kid that I was like, oh, I should be able to somehow send like a message directly
Yeah.
to that car to be like, asshole. Or just something
Bro,
like that just like shows up on their
yes.
fucking
I had the same
on their
thought,
radio
as a kid,
dial.
doing all these road trips, and I would see like my dad would get frustrated. Someone, I was like, someone should tell that guy.
It's why
Yeah.
it's why they made those LED things
What-
at Spencer. So
Yeah,
when in
What
the
it, should
windows.
be, what it should be is like the license plate. When you type in the license plate number, it connects you to that car or something like that.
Right.
You could like send
like-
a 15-second message.
Right.
I mean, with,
fucking
with,
And I have-
with self-driving cars now,
And
it's
I-
going to end up happening.
Right, and I have tweaked it so many times in my head because I was like, well, it can't be anything because then you're gonna have, assholes are gonna be assholes. So it's got to be like a set list of things of
Oh, like a
messages you
preset
can
thing.
send.
Yeah.
Why are you so cheeky
a
today?
pre-selected
Like,
send
hey,
box or
you
so?
cut me off.
Yeah.
Rude.
How rude.
Lately, I've just
It's all done in memes.
Yeah.
GIFs.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
nice,
Yeah. You
nice
should be able to
use,
send
nice
someone a
use of the
meme.
turn
Yep.
signal.
Oh my god, I used to do that all the time before, and Apple fixed it. They broke it. I was just airdropping people stuff, just to see what would, like, if anyone would respond. I do this on flights all the time.
I've heard, I heard
Yeah,
about people
just like
doing that.
airdrop.
Stories like
yeah.
that too, yeah.
And every once in a while, like I'll get into an exchange with someone. It's great. It's so much fun. It's a good way to meet people. It's not,
Yeah.
but like, I'm pretty sure Tesla was like experimenting with that.
Doing
with,
something like that.
Yeah, where you could like connect with other
Tesla,
Tesla drivers. I think that's just gonna end poorly.
Oh,
But
yeah, so,
lately, if I wanted to send a message, I would just be like, "I'm so disappointed in you." Right? I would be like, try to really
Right,
make
well,
make
because
it
there's only going to be a
Yeah.
If you're
set-
going to drive like that, you are the load your mother should have swallowed.
Right.
just really like make it really. That's why lately I've just been, instead of yelling or flipping someone off or even honking my horn, I'll just shake my head and like do a thumbs
So,
a thumbs
this
down.
isn't
I did that
Like,
the other day.
I'm not mad. I'm just
Disappointed.
disappointed.
this isn't lower whack.
Levi,
There are laws up there.
Levi, it's actually
No, no,
funny.
no,
yeah.
That happened to me on the way to work once.
Oh no.
So, we're going south on 57, and this guy kind of cuts me off, right? And I just flipped him off real quick, right? And he did
Yeah.
so now we're talking to each other through the fucking mirror,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, well, what did you want me to do? I'm like, whatever, just fucking eyes on the road, go, And then he just fucking slams on the gas and goes. I'm like, wow, I just had like a 3-line conversation with this dude through the fucking mirror with just hand gestures.
You eye fucked him.
And he felt, and he
right.
dare I say he liked it.
But that's the thing. Like he knew what he did.
Yes.
You know, and then it was funny because
and he acknowledged it,
Yeah.
but he
Right.
acknowledged it in like a defensive way. Like, what the fuck you want? What do you
right.
want me to
What
do?
did you want me to do? I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, you cut me off with like inches to spare. You know, like regardless, it was a dick
kind of a
move.
special. That was like a special moment you had, right?
Right.
Like,
that has
actually
never
kinda great.
happened to me before.
I like that.
You
It's
know,
gonna
where
be
I
on
was
missed
like,
encounters
holy
later.
shit.
Get on Craigslist is like to the guy that
Yeah.
I had a connection with.
I really want to get a beer with you.
I missed you, man.
The only connection I ever thought I would catch on those fucking, you know, south side highways are bullets. You know, because when
That's a
I, you know,
different
I
conversation.
right, because I don't, you know, I don't honk at people usually, you know,
Yeah.
but you know, I will flip them off. But what my thing to tell somebody, my, you know, passive aggressive, kind of aggressive move to do, is I pass them closely without using my signal.
Oh, I hate you.
You know? No, that's if you're a dick.
you mother.
If you're the asshole that's got 15
Right.
cars behind
Yeah.
you,
Yes.
and you're keeping pace with the other 2 cars next to you,
Read
you know,
the room.
all 3 of you
Yeah.
are assholes. But if you're in the fucking the far lane, you know,
that.
that's where you're supposed to be going the fastest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And the
Well, it's
people
where
that
you're
get
supposed
over
to be
there,
if you're not
It's a
passing
passing, yeah.
anyone,
right?
then you
You
like,
better be speeding then.
right.
Yeah.
You
If
better
you're-
be setting the pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set the pace.
Right.
Or get the fuck
Right.
over. If you're going the
No,
same
you see-
speed as someone else, why
Then
aren't
I'm-
you behind them?
Always hated it when you have a line of fucking
Right.
cars behind
So
the
for
car
that
and
guy, that's
I
the
thought
guy
you were going
who-
somewhere else different with that
like-
for a second.
You know, I'll come out of my lane using the signal.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I get you know, far enough in front of them to know, then I almost even just fucking jerk it over to be like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Then
did
they-
something
then they
similar
know.
to that, but I'll
right,
at least
I need you to
signal.
know that,
Yeah.
like, look, I did that because you're an asshole.
And they're
Yeah.
probably going to bring it up to their therapist later. Be like,
Probably.
Yeah,
But
this
you know what
fucking
I
asshole cut me
happens to
off.
me.
the funny thing is when a lot of times when I do it and I look at my rear view, I see the next 3 or 4 fucking cars behind me do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yup.
The sharpness to be like driving the point home.
Yeah.
And then you know what I see after that? That asshole moves out of the fucking
Eventually,
lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
With their
they
signal.
finally get it.
yeah,
Yep.
Right.
yeah.
You know, I mean, whatever.
It's
one of those things grinds my
That's one
gears.
reason why I hate driving right now.
Yeah.
That's one reason why I really fucking hate driving. Is because of like people just like that. Like it just pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah, I
how,
mean,
like,
you're
some people
more
drive.
comfortable in a cockpit anyway.
I was gonna say, like, normally when you drive a car, it doesn't smell like manure anyway. So, like, yeah, isn't that what you guys use here? Because you can't get all the stuff in, like all the uranium and all that stuff you use to blow up.
For the nitrogen.
Yep.
Is that what they told you?
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
Is that what they
Thank
told
you.
you? Is that what they
Fertilizer.
told you?
It's the fertilizer.
That's what they're teaching you guys? What the fuck?
There's a better way.
Manure? You think we're using shit?
TV said it's called a dirty bomb.
Not a
Not
shitty
for that
bomb.
reason.
TV was right.
Hey, I really am gonna get fucking caught up by the FBI at some point.
But-
They're like, we know you're on the watch list. You've been on the watch list since that
No,
first
but
episode.
that's a big part of what took down the Oklahoma City government building.
Me?
No, the federal building. No,
You weren't even
Fertilizer.
born then, I don't think.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, yeah.
I'm saying the FBI
Yeah.
gonna get me.
That's
for
what,
these
that's what I was
jokes.
thinking
the
of when I said
30-year
it.
anniversary was just like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like
How'd
about
you
to be
celebrate?
born.
He was doing it
It
from
was
his
not.
mouth.
It was
Whoa.
not a. It was not a happy
You control that shit. What do
anniversary.
you mean? What, you guys ever did that? That's a thing that people don't know how to do. What?
He was Avatar in that bitch.
From the cockpit.
We call it the womb for a reason.
It's a little too detailed there, Mo.
Yeah.
No,
Mo,
there's a line.
just so you know,
There's a line.
there may be
And
no
you
laws
crossed
on
it.
there may be no laws on Lower Wacker, but you're never going to be allowed down there again underneath those buildings.
There are plenty of laws in Chicago and the United States.
And you banned and you've broken most of them on this channel.
Just remember, Patriot Act.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I know I want to watch this already, but that's from and yesterday. Yesterday was a lot of terrorist jokes too.
Dude, you try to teach people how to fuck a camel.
Yes, Mike was wondering. Look, he went back into the thinking of it. He's back into.
It doesn't
the
make
thinking.
sense. They're too tall.
I said the sand dunes.
Fucking shack.
They use the
Fucking
sand
camels.
dunes.
Just when is this episode coming out?
2 weeks. 2 weeks from now.
the camel fucking one.
Next week.
Oh, next week.
Just curious. Which one?
Are you trying to learn too?
I just want. I'm a curious person.
What's more curious is he knows.
No, he just wants to know if he skipped around too much and missed something again because of he heard Ted talk about his topic.
He was like, no, that's what you guys said in the beginning.
Like, it was his topic.
Yes.
Yeah, we're giving that one to Ted.
Even though it has
I'm
come
telling
up
you,
on the show like 4 or 5 times.
all of us were so lost with it. we're like, wait, what? It was like, yeah, that's what you guys said earlier on. And we're like, wait. We're all looking at each other like, when did we say this?
It was like,
Oh no, sorry, I was thinking about a different podcast.
no, but look, he was really high.
Yeah, it was.
He
He
was
was having
high.
a second
great.
podcast.
It was great.
And like we were all like getting the room ready for the show, right? So
Yeah.
at that point, Mo was like over here with his headphones on, so he didn't hear anything. Like he wasn't part of the conversation.
Right.
Joe had just walked out of the room as I had walked in, and we were kind of talking about how Joe and I can see eye to eye on
Yeah.
shit. And then it was like he's like, oh, so like what's something that you guys can see eye to eye on? I was like, oh well, neither of us thinks trans should be in sports. The top of your physical fucking peak. Like no. You see any girls going into men's sports? No, they can't compete. Regardless of
He was saying how there should be another diversion for
a league.
Another
Title
league
IX.
for them,
Yeah.
You know?
for
that's interesting.
transsexuals.
Boys, girls, and trans.
Yes.
There you go.
and which
And then when you get to the pros, everybody can be in
Yeah.
that league, and that's when it's going to get real exciting.
Yep.
See, okay, I've always been a proponent of like, why are we dividing sports by gender?
So
Especially at the pro level, like
yeah, okay.
I think it would make for a better.
Well, it's an equal
better
thing
sports
because
when everyone is invited to participate at the same level.
but
and some sports you can. Some sports,
like what, pickleball?
well, that's the thing. It's like
whoa! Now you're calling that a sport.
Look,
Now you crossed the line.
There's people out there that call golf a sport, so
that is true too. That is true.
I don't know about that.
Now
there is-
esports, that should be divided by gender.
Yeah, yeah, with fucking controllers.
That one should be done by age because these kids are killing us with their agility.
I'll tell you what.
Just gotta be you gotta get a little racist when it comes to that.
And that's why you can't talk on Mario Kart.
That makes sense.
It's like what is it, Futurama, where she's like, they're like, Mom, we got beat in the game again. It's like, wasn't those Korean girls again?
That was a great episode.
You remember that one? They overclock Bender. That was fun.
Hey, it's always nerve-wracking thing when you're playing an online game and you see like an Asian name come up. You're like, "Fuck, dude!"
You just see a bunch of
you
just see a bunch of
somebody who's
ninja characters.
I love it though, like especially in esports when if I am good at something,
Yeah.
people just assume one of two things. I'm either like 10 years old,
Yeah.
right, some prodigy, or I'm like just the opposite of who I actually am, right? I'm not this like middle-aged dad, right? They're just like, oh my god, you're some like 10-year-old Asian kid, right? Like, oh fuck you, right? And
I mean,
like,
you could kind of pass. You could. I mean, you're close to being able to. I mean, without the ink, you covered up the arms of the ink, and you took off the gold watch. You could probably pass for a 10-year-old. I mean, we switched that hat out with a Bulls like a Bulls 3-peat hat or something like. I mean, the shirt's the right size.
I was so wondering where he was going with that one.
I was so confused.
So where can people buy the shirt?
At the kids section in Old Navy.
I was trying to let you tell them where they can buy your stuff.
No, it's the Goonies. That's the Goonies hoodie.
I was thinking Weird Science.
Oh, okay. No. So what I'm trying to do this summer, every summer I'm I'm trying to find some sort of trope. Last summer it was tank tops. This summer I'm going like crop tops and like hoochie shorts.
Okay.
Just to see what happens.
Right.
I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get a lot of attention from the people I don't want attention from, but attention is attention.
Yep.
This shirt is one of the custom ones that I made. So I had like a sweatshirt come in, screen printed this, and then cropped it. This one I call the Forbidden hoodie because you know how most hoodies have like a pocket on the front, like you can put both hands in. I put that on the back.
Oh shit!
So there's a fucking pocket in the back, but I can't reach it. It's too high up because it's fucking cropped now. So I'm like, okay, why did I do that? But it's
For
a
the
one
person
of one.
walking
like, no one-
behind you to like
Yeah.
put their
That was-
hands in and keep
or if
them
someone
warm.
gives me a hug, they can like put their arms.
No,
in,
it's
and
your
warm
John
hands.
McClane pocket.
Yes. Well, I mean, I should have.
You think I?
Oh man, it's a
He hate
great
everybody?
sweatshirt. I would have just put like. Now I have a machine gun. Oh, motherfucker. No, this is one where like.
Now I have a pocket on my back. Ho ho ho, bitches.
Not that pocket.
You know, that shouldn't get
Like a
copyright.
rever-
There's
a
no
reverse
copyright
kangaroo.
infringement on what I just said, right?
Yeah, we're
think
getting
so.
sued.
Yeah. Like the 0 people
Now
that
I got a
listen.
pocket on my back. Ho ho ho, bitches. Right? That makes sense.
Gotta put yo in the front.
Yo ho ho. Now we're pirates.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of
Lincoln Park pirates.
Whatever this is.
Yo, ho, ho, shot.
So you're feeling it.
Oh yeah, no, it's hitting
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah. No, it's you feel it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, it's nice.
It wakes you the fuck up.
And it's funny, you can ask these guys, I would go through cans and cans of every energy drink a day.
Yeah.
It does nothing to me. Shot of this gives me energy.
There's many times where I've had like 2-3 energy drinks like back to back to back just so I can just feel something, and it's just the only thing is I might get a little bit jittery maybe, but
Because you're drinking
this
pure
shit
syrup.
here-
Yep.
Yeah, this I think comes
saying
with the
what this
added
is?
benefit of like just the hit of syrup.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm
So it's
not
like
saying
a
'cause of
sugar
this.
rush too. Yeah.
That's delicious.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
No,
I want
this
to put it in
is
like an
really
eye
fucking
drop form, you know, and just like mainline it.
Squeeze a shot in your eye. Just
I bet you that'll be a new category for Jerry.
I mean, it kind of covered my facials
Yeah.
/ money shot, right?
Something like that.
Money shot.
is there anything that you have coming out like soon that you might be working on?
Yeah, so there's a couple more lines that I'm dropping these in like different seasons. So we're on
Okay.
season 2, and the first season was like college and high school, so it was like academia, right? So Lower Whacker Academia. Then the second one was like Lower Whacker clubs. So I have Lower Whacker Yacht Club, Lower Whacker Run Club, and like
Book club.
so it's
Lower Whacker Book Club.
yes, Lower Whacker Book Club is one, and then I'm going to be doing the Church of Lower Whacker.
Okay.
It's like different religious themes. I'm going to do like punk bands and rock bands and like you know anything with religious themes. I have a couple offshoots as well. I got this one that's a Joy Division shirt, like the classic Joy Division shirt with like the the black shirt with the white lines that go across. That looks like a waveform that I redrew as the skyline of Chicago. So
nice.
but it says Division Street instead of Joy Division. So I wear that like usually behind the bar or something because I work on Division Street. So I've got a couple like offshoot ones that aren't specific to Lower Whacker, but it's all just a love letter to Chicago.
Right.
Like it's just
Right.
like little things about Chicago that I love that are niche, right? Or not necessarily irreverent, right? Because there's a lot of irreverent Chicago merch. There's a lot of like touristy Chicago merch, and I wanted stuff for like people who love Chicago that you kind of have to know. So I'm
Right, it's
doing like
kinda
some
like,
New York jokes, some old style
That
jokes.
store
that-
on Milwaukee. I forget it. It's next to next to Uprise or where
like
Uprise
Tran-
used
is
to
it
be.
Transit Tees?
Yes.
Yeah.
Transit
Yeah,
Tees.
love
They
those
do
guys.
all kinds of like
They do stuff about the L and like,
Right, like-
the loop. Like, they got a
over,
bunch
you know,
of jokes. Yeah.
like every year I was not living in Chicago, I got a shirt from there as like a gift.
Right.
When I was living outside of Chicago, and like all of them were, awesome shirts. Like I got like a Jazz Fest shirt, and, like this kind of shirt, like a lot of really cool stuff that, but I would never wear like a, I Heart Chicago shirt, like something you would get on Michigan.
That's the thing that I love about Chicago is people that actually like love Chicago, deeply love Chicago. They love to not make fun of it, but they love to have like the inside joke about Chicago.
Right.
Where it's
Like,
not
we
just
got
like,
this
oh yeah, let me
flag
wear
here.
a big old like, I Heart New York. Like New Yorkers don't wear those,
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But New Yorkers don't actually wear New York shirts, but Chicagoans do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love
Nobody's actually
how
from
big
New
of a
York
fan
ever, anyway.
Chicagoans are of Chicago, right? And I like that's how this started. I'm just like a huge fucking fan of Chicago.
Yeah.
I love all of the underground, literally underground stuff and the niche things.
The most
So-
recognized flag that's not a country.
Absolutely.
Yup.
Oh man, I
Yeah,
fucking love our
seriously,
flag.
though.
Most
seriously.
recognized flag on the planet that's not a country.
It's such a well-designed flag, and there's a lot of
The fact
imagery
they try to
on-
change it
And this is an antique.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Probably.
before we nailed it to the wall.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, it was nailed to a
even
wall.
better
It was they were nailed to walls in my college dorm room and apartments and everything. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I stole this. I found this.
So let's skip off that. You did find that, but when you're talking about the different niche things and the religious, two things popped in my head real quick
Yeah,
that made me laugh. Boy Scout Troops of America, no laws on Lower
Yes,
Wacker.
yes.
And then altar boy practice. Because there's no laws down there.
I know. Lower Wacker God Squad.
Yeah, there's
Hold on.
I'm working on
God
one
Squad
that's
might
like
be trademarked.
Lower Wacker Bible Study.
Okay.
Lower Wacker Bible Study is one.
'cause-
Lower Wacker Summer Camp. I'm working on a Lower Wacker Summer Camp theme. There's a whole bunch of other themes that I'm working on, and mostly it's born out of just like shit like this,
Yeah.
where
Right.
I'm just riffing with friends, and now I've got a bunch of friends that just say it too. Whenever we go past
Oh, you want some?
Lower Wacker.
You want some Little Joe's?
Thanks. Yeah.
All right, I got you.
You should do. I was just thinking, you should do something with Malort for that. Because no laws on Lower Wacker. Come meet your dad.
I do have I've got a Malort shirt that just
Yeah.
says "No Laws"
Yeah.
where the Malort logo
I
would
might need
be.
to get some,
a bright yellow shirt, right?
So it seems like the perfect place to meet your dad and
We're
fight.
getting
Yeah,
close.
they.
Would you
yeah,
like some ice?
please?
Yeah. Let me go grab some
Glad
real
you-
quickly. 1 second.
So there's a cap on this, right?
There is a
Yes.
cap on it. You're just pressing through the cap. That's why it's spilling out like that. That's why it was spilling out. He's like squeezing through. He's like,
Why is
look,
this
it's
so
dripping though.
difficult?
I mean, should we just call halftime?
No, just keep going. It's fine.
Oh, that really?
Amazing when there's
big
no
difference.
resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, big difference.
Oh, that's hilarious. But no, I love that concept. There's a lot of things you're able to do with it.
Yeah.
So what other than the shirts and the hats and
Shirts, hats. I have like tote bags. Pretty much. I mean, I'm trying not to be so merchandise
Right.
forward, right? I just want to celebrate
The brand.
this little thing, and it
Yeah.
started off as just like, oh, I wanted this on a shirt for me.
Right.
Right. And so my friend and I just started making stuff just for us, and then enough people were like, oh man, can I get one? Okay. And so now when someone sees it.
like us at the Jameson thing. I
Right,
saw your
exactly.
shirt. I'm like, oh,
You
we
saw
gotta
the
get a
shirt,
picture.
you're
I'm
like,
we
oh,
gotta-
that's cool.
And then we're
now
like, we
whenever
gotta do the picture together.
Right. And now whenever someone like sees it and they're like, "Oh, that's cool," then I have an opportunity to be like, "Oh, great, you get it. Like
Yeah.
you understand it." And a lot of people will just see it and maybe they'll chuckle, maybe they don't understand it at all.
Which is funny because I had seen that before.
Oh,
So
interesting.
you weren't seeing it on you wasn't the first time I saw it. I don't know where I've seen it, but I've seen it before, either in clothing or online.
Yeah.
But I've seen no laws on Lower Wacker, so that's when I said, "Dude, I've seen this before. That's a Chicago thing. Let's get a picture
Oh,
with
that's
it."
fun.
But when we heard it was yours, I was like, "Okay, that's kind of funny because I
Yeah.
know I've seen the name."
Because it's been around for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Right? I've had the brand for a couple of years.
And I
It's
love
just been,
dive
like,
bars,
it's
so I've
just-
probably seen it in a dive bar.
Right. Yeah, and it's been. I mean, I wear it all the time. I've got stickers everywhere. I've done not advertising, but I've done like some stuff
want this?
online.
Sure.
Right.
Take a cube or
But
two.
it's just so casual for me, right?
Or an
It's just
after hours club, I probably seen
Exactly,
it. You
right.
know? Sometimes you're just lost. You're looking for your keys, and you're just staring at a wall while you're trying to fumble around.
Right, or,
And those are my people.
for me, it would be something like
Would you like some more?
a music fest or a street fest where people try to wear different unique shit.
Yeah.
Right. So anytime I would go to a music festival or I would work behind a bar, I was giving these out to DJs, right? So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, DJs, industry folk, like people that are working, thank you, that are working festivals, that are working like rental places, all that stuff, right? I want them to wear this stuff. So I'm at this point, I'm just like giving these things away because that's advertising
Yeah.
for me. Because truly, if you search for No Laws on Lower Whacker, I'm the only thing that pops up.
Yeah.
Right? Or
Kinda
at
like
least
us.
I'm in the
Yeah.
top something. And it's just nolawsonlowerwhacker.com.
Oh,
Right?
I was gonna have
And
asked if people wanted it.
Right. So when people see this,
We
they're
gotta
like,
make sure he gets some stickers
Yeah.
on his way
Oh,
before
yeah.
he leaves. We got stickers.
We finally got
I'll
stickers.
put your stickers on top of my stickers.
Yup.
I'll just
you
backtrack
go.
all my steps
Double.
and hit your stickers on top of mine.
So like when we did our first event where we went out, we had nothing. Like we just finally got pins for each of us.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got stickers. But
We got iron on.
we got iron on stuff, and we all got black shirts and ironed them on our
Yup.
chest.
Fuck yeah.
And we're like, we're going out for effing around.
Right. That's what my
I
best
still
friend
haven't
did. like-
washed that shirt because I know that iron-on's gonna fall off.
I
as soon
haven't
as
watched
do
it either, actually.
I did wash it. I've worn
Take
it
it up
twice,
outside.
and I've washed it.
Yeah?
It can last for 20 washes. That's part of the thing.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
But it probably only lasts for 5 or
countdown
6.
starts.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I got home that night. I folded it. I
Let me know if you want any more.
put it on a shelf.
good,
I'm
thank
like,
you.
all right. And then they've been like, well, do I really want to wear that?
We'll get some real ones made.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah. But no,
a-
I love the
memory.
concept of the brand. As you said, you could do so much with it, and you could play around with it so
yeah.
much.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I'm like, with the 100-year anniversary coming up
Yep.
next year, I'm like, why aren't we? I don't know. It feels like something that everyone that I know and everyone that I've met in Chicago, they celebrate it when they understand it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things in Chicago that like we kind of roll our eyes at, like the bean.
Yeah.
Right? And Chicagoans are like, okay, like we've seen it once,
Right.
That's fine, right? We're not gonna do that. But no one is actively trying to celebrate the underground streets of Chicago. But it's one of the things that makes Chicago so magical.
Yeah.
It's like the structural load-bearing parts of Chicago are what make Chicago. But we
agreed.
don't celebrate that the way that we celebrate the tourist stuff.
It's because they have no massage parlors down there.
Anymore.
Well,
But-
you gotta know where to look.
But my
Not
joke
since
was,
they started
do you remember in
driving fucking
Vegas when they were looking up
pylons
that
into-
old like porn star and she was living in like the Vegas tunnels and all
Oh,
that?
yeah.
So it makes me think of
Yeah.
like if you had that in Lower Whacker with the no laws, everybody
Are you
would know.
volunteering?
No.
Well, that's where
That's probably where Mickey Avalon would be though. Back in the day.
that's where the bar where Bruce Wayne went to go find the guy in the Batman movie. Remember?
Wait, wasn't that? Didn't he use Billy Goats?
I love that we all just kind of left you
Right.
hanging.
But, wait,
You have to
wasn't
dry
that
on
bar
that one?
Billy? Didn't he use Billy Goats?
It's probably the inside.
Yeah, remember the Billy?
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
But
It
the
Billy
outside
Goat.
was
Yeah,
just
Billy
like
Goat
was
Tavern.
one of the
Yeah.
loading docks on
But the
Lower
outside was the load
Whacker.
down, but I think the inside was supposed to be Billy Goats right there because it was over there by Michigan Avenue.
Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, there should be more places
Yeah, down there.
down in Lower Whacker, right? I think
there
because
should. It's
tons of garages. Like you can rent a garage spot, lots of
Yeah.
garage entrances for parking.
Put a business
All
down
the
there.
loading docks are down there.
You do some great raves down there.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
honestly, that's what. So I know a bunch of DJs. I'm friends with a couple people that do like party promotion, and I would love to throw a birthday party
Yeah.
for Lower Whacker. Like that makes a lot of sense for my brand to be a part of. I just don't. Here's what I'm actually thinking about doing is just getting a filming permit
Yeah.
and shutting down a street for a filming permit and then just throwing a party and calling it a music video.
and record it. Yeah.
Have
Have
you
a couple cameras
Have
on
you
there.
met the fuckarounds?
Yeah. We'd
we
all
go.
be down for
Yeah.
that. I might know a couple of people in Redline. That I
Right.
could talk to.
So you know we got a bunch of songs. You could make a music video, or we could just work on making a new song
Yeah.
to do a video down
Oh,
there.
that's
See,
we have
here's
been
what
trying to
we
make
need
a
to do.
video.
Okay.
That's true.
We're
That's
throwing a
all right.
birthday party.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a,
No,
it's a,
no, we're filming a music video.
It's a
Like I
music
said, we're
video.
filming a music video.
It's a music video for the birthday party of
Yes.
Lower Whacker.
Right.
That's what it is.
I mean, come on, Chicago.
Whacker
Yeah.
stock.
Yeah.
But there's
Instead of
a lot of
Wayne
opportunity
stock.
for like it's a great a venue, right?
Yep.
And I think it would be really that's something that
Yeah, rain or shine.
is
Yep.
exactly
It's covered.
Hopefully rain.
Yeah.
You know?
That'd be way better.
Yeah.
Usually
It
Pretty
smells like
temperature-
must down there when it's
Temperature
ready.
controlled
That's
for the
great.
most part.
Yeah.
Chicago's gondola canal.
Chicago gondola tours. Lower Wacker gondola tours.
You get a taste of being a ret like
No,
everybody
Lord.
else down there.
Lower Wacker scavenger hunt champion.
Lower Wacker Easter egg hunt.
Champion.
Second annual.
The winner finds a needle first.
Not all eggs have prizes in. 'em.
Oh, shit.
You should do like a little book of survival for foraging.
And that's what I was.
That's good.
Right, yeah, like
That's
the Lower
like a
Wacker
Boy Scouts
survival
thing.
You're
guide.
like a foraging
Lower
guide
Wacker
for down there.
survival guide.
What
Yeah.
animals and rodents you can and can't eat.
It's just like 8 different kinds of pigeons
And then listed the bums you can steal from and you can't.
by name.
No, by what they scream.
And like the do and
Oh,
do
the guy who
nots of
says that the
do and
president's
do
an
nots
alien?
on the colored needles.
It's all do nots.
There's just a one do.
Keep driving. You could do an old timey like map that just shows like the off. You know how they show like those antique maps of Chicago,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
where you just see like 10 neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You could do something like that of Lower Wacker that just shows you all the different offshoots.
Nice.
Hey, that's actually
Yeah.
those are cool. That's fucking idea.
Yeah, I want
Cool
to.
as
So
shit.
I want to do a video.
Yeah.
So I went down there several weeks ago, a couple months ago now, and with my camera, and just started recording clips. And the way that I got away with that is I wore a high vis vest.
Oh
and like a walkie-talkie
earpiece?
Yeah.
and an earpiece. Just like no one asked any questions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can
dude, almost
you can
totally
do
will.
pretty much anything if you wear a high vis vest and a
Yeah.
walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta look
You can go
confident, do
anywhere.
whatever
But
it is
the
you're doing, and just-
Ghostbusters dug into Fifth Avenue or whatever, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
you
I don't
can-
think
you
they
can
really
do
did
anything.
that, but
They
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Your Honor, so many holes in the street. We didn't think the city would notice one more. That was Ghostbusters 2.
But I want to
It was
film
before
like
you were
a.
born.
I wanna film like
I've
a
seen
whole-
all Ghostbusters, including the shitty ones.
Okay,
including
I haven't.
The shitty ones.
I haven't.
Let's put one on right now.
And
And
copyright
the
issues.
changes.
Yeah, right? Immediately go.
The podcast goes mute for 2.5 hours. Just shots of us
People just
watching.
see us and like visually just pointing.
Right.
Oh,
That's why you tell anyone who's
We-
ever
we couldn't
making a
find the
home
new
porn video
Ghostbusters, so
to
we
play
just-
Disney music.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the only way to guarantee it they take it down.
I can show you the world.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Do you think we got copyrighted for me saying that?
Probably.
Fuck.
Yeah, if anybody's coming down through that fucking double door,
It's Disney for sure.
Disney.
The mouse is coming in right.
They somehow
Yeah.
rappel down through this
the
ceiling.
mousecapades are coming right through there.
Oh yeah. He's gonna give you that Wuhan flu.
Get that son of a bitch.
They shoot to kill.
You said 3% of the song.
Oh boy. Fuck you up.
Is anyone else just picturing Mickey Mouse on the South Park?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
That's exactly-
yeah.
Yep. That's where I was going with it.
I just feel we're all thinking the same thing.
Yeah, that's my president. Yeah.
What's this here? I buy purity rings.
He got all the Marvel characters in a lineup, and then Randy Marsh is just standing over there like, who the fuck is this son of a bitch?
I'm so glad you actually listened to some of these before you came and you were like, we have, in the beginning, I can't tell you how many times Mo was like, we have to create a schedule, we have to do a time, we're going to do this, this, and this. And multiple times we did like, okay, We're
It
gonna
started
talk-
out that way.
Yeah, we have this topic,
We
this topic, this
tried.
topic.
We
He used to
tried.
have a notebook where he'd be like,
Yeah.
so
The notebook's back there.
we started, we okay, guys, the show started on this and we never got to it.
And
We
now
went
it's, now it's a point of pride.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, the show started on this, and guess what, guys?
Right.
We did
Well,
it. We
we-
never
we
got
didn't
back
do
to
it.
it.
We
Oh, yeah.
actually have a name for it. We call it Buffalo Dip.
Yep. Yep. Which an episode you probably didn't hear because, well. And what fucking day was it? Was it the day we were watching the game when he was talking about it, or the day after?
It was after.
After. All right. So it was a Super Bowl game, and he makes a buffalo dip, right?
Really
It's
good.
fucking amazing, right? And so we were talking about it, and he was giving us the ingredients, the recipe for like how he made it. And in the middle of him talking, and I think he only put like 2 ingredients. and as he was listing the third one,
Joe was like, well, "Why don't you tell everybody?" I was like, "It was easy. Like, it's, there's like 5 ingredients."
he's on the second ingredient, and then the show goes on, and nobody says anything about it again.
Then the next,
Okay. What I want you to do, give us the last 3 ingredients now.
we did that the next week.
I don't think we continued it still, did we?
I think we did.
I think we talked about it,
You're
but I
like,
don't think
oh my God.
we, 'cause I know we talked about coining the phrase buffalo dip.
Yep.
Fuck,
That's
that's
what we
good.
call our tangents.
Yo,
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
buffalo
Yeah.
dips.
Yeah, never return to that. That's
No.
great. But tee it up on your very last episode. Tee it up and be like, guys, today's the day. We're gonna give you the full recipe for the buffalo
He goes,
dip,
he goes
and then it
all
goes
the way
silent.
in. Yep.
Who is Cartman's father? Find out next week.
Is it the Denver Broncos? We know it's not Mo.
It could have very well been me.
Oh,
You probably weren't even old enough then.
You found Cartman's mom attractive?
Are you kidding me?
Who did?
Well, if,
Is it hermaphrodite, dude? And she got everything.
like I was saying earlier, it's a spectrum.
Right in the
I'm like
middle.
Jerry, all right?
Cartman's mom.
No, you're a little further past Jerry.
You're all the way to the camel.
You're
Wait, the
That's a
camel's
different
one
type of
end of the
spectrum.
spectrum?
That's a
With
different type
him
of
it is.
spectrum. That's a different type of spectrum.
that's another line.
Yeah, that's a different spectrum.
It's another.
You're on a lot of spectrum. Let's be very honest.
That's another vector.
Oh, shit. God damn.
I don't even know what this we're
Are we-
going.
I think that we can.
Are we
can-
closing
Yeah,
up right
yeah.
here?
I think we
I
end
mean,
on gold.
I think you got to throw out like anyone you want to shout out, anyone
Yeah,
to
anything
do,
we wanna say like
any
that.
information on your brand, your website, your
Yeah.
Instagram.
if you
throw
got
it
more
out.
you want to talk about, we could just take a break and then come back and do it again.
No, I think like if people are interested in not just like purchasing merch, because I don't want this to be like a merch thing,
Right.
Right. Like I said, I want people who love Chicago and that want to celebrate it, and it's like
Yeah.
a club almost, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want it to feel like.
As long as
So-
you're not from Naperville.
Where's that?
Well, no, he's from Ohio. It's the same shit.
Yeah, Naperville is Ohio.
Yeah, it's the same
North
thing.
Ohio. No loss on Lower Whacker on Instagram. No loss on lowerwhacker.com. Like orders come from a place called Friends of Lower Whacker, which is really fun. But like this is, I want to celebrate all those little dirty corners of Chicago. I think it's really fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that. Like, I mean, you're wearing an "Assholes Live Forever" jacket, right?
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
sweatshirt, and like it's that kind of vibe. Like you gotta get it, you gotta know. And so whenever I bump into people, they're like, "Oh," it's always that kind of reaction. They're like, "Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay," right? And then we understand each other. It's like having that little conversation in the rearview mirror of someone that you cut off, right? It's just like, "Oh, okay, we
Cut
had a
you off.
moment, we have a
Yep.
connection."
He cut you off.
Yeah,
I didn't cut him off.
No, I cut you off.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
You
But what am I supposed to do?
fucking better
And then, like, what I'm trying to do is carry around as many stickers as
brake
possible.
pedal next to
So
the
if you
gas
bump
pedal.
into me and you see a sweatshirt, you see a no loss hat, like, ask for a sticker. But then you got to put it somewhere
Yep.
All right.
inappropriate.
All right. Hell yeah.
That's it. That's the
So-
deal.
You know, something you might be
actually-
interested in actually is there used to be this old show on like PBS way back in the day. It was called Wild Chicago. something you might want to look into.
Okay.
It's just that's what they specialized in, was
Oh hell yeah.
off the beaten path stuff
Yes.
about the
Yeah,
city
yeah.
and the suburbs, and like I remember like like there were times where you couldn't sleep, and you're just flipping through channels
Yeah, yeah.
and you'd like see this weird kind of documentary, and the guy's kind of going into all these places like a like a news reporter, and he's like,
Nice.
hey, what do you do here, like all kinds of weird stuff. So I definitely suggest looking up some of those old episodes.
Nice.
You'd probably really find some good gems.
Yeah.
I want
Pretty cool,
to. I want to
yeah.
bring that back, right?
Yeah.
If
Right.
anything, like I want to make more episodes.
Right, that's
I
what
want
I'm
to go
saying.
like
Cool shit,
spelunking in Chicago and like
Right.
find all those little, not even hidden gems. It's not about finding like secret spots or like speakeasies or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
it is about just exploring this city.
Right, and
this
that's all
city
this-
is,
that's what
it's
the show
so
was.
rich. Like there's so many great accessible spots that unless you know about it, or unless you've grown up here or you've accidentally found it, like you're just not going to know about it, and I want to
Oh, yeah.
celebrate that.
Right, like
Alright,
I just
that's
heard
cool
a
shit,
really
though.
cool one. There's a encased a Cadillac, like a 50-something
Yes,
Cadillac.
in the concrete.
Yeah.
right.
Remember I was showing you
Yes,
guys?
Yeah,
dude.
You just sent it to us.
Yeah.
Right. So there was like done as like an art piece in the 70s, right?
Yep.
And they used like a 60s or 50s model Cadillac, and like the whole thing was like how like it was like a not even minute long like spot on
Yeah.
on like an Instagram thing that I saw. They sent these guys, but it's now sitting in a parking lot in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
Just like a parking garage. It's the very first spot.
Yeah.
And
But
like,
there's no details about it. There's
No.
no
Nothing.
right, like, and I
There's
was
nothing.
asking people at work who
Yeah.
are much older than me, and I'm like, have you ever heard about this? And they're like, no, that's like, and I go
Yeah.
by there all the time. Like, there's there's no plaque, there's
That's
no
sad.
there's
But
no
that's,
nothing.
I mean, that kind of shit, like, I don't know. It if you know, you know, right?
Yes.
And Lower
Right.
Wacker is one of those things. Like, if you know, you know. If you've
Yep.
been down there, then you agree with like, oh yeah, there's no laws on Lower Wacker. I get it. Like,
Yep.
I've been down there. I've had to go 60 miles an hour just so that I don't get honked at, right? I get it. There's
Right.
no laws. You don't use your turn signals. Like,
It's our Autobahn.
Blind-
it is Chicago's Autobahn,
yeah,
right?
Blind
And-
corners.
Yeah.
Right. It's
You don't know
like
what
that-
you're coming around that corner. You don't know if it's
Yep.
like it's gonna be
No, you
red,
gotta say a little
green,
prayer.
stop
I can-
traffic.
Yep.
I can
Yeah.
say for sure if I ever got lost out
Turned
there,
over
the
grocery
first
cart.
exit that I saw was like, I'm taking that bitch and
You
I'll
take
figure it out from there.
and then you figure it
I'll
out.
figure
right.
the fuck
Once
out
you
from
get
there.
cell signal, then you
and
figure it out.
and that's what I was trying to advise against.
Yeah.
You just stay the course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes there's turns and then you got the multiple.
Remember,
turn
he can
things,
only
right?
take off. He can't turn. He can't.
You can't land.
Can't land.
They
No,
taught
like
us how
that-
to fly, not drive.
Like that Cadillac,
Right.
like when people know about it,
Yeah.
right? If I were maybe I should. If I make a shirt about that, it would be like, I got lucky on the concrete encased Cadillac,
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
and like no one's gonna know what that means
Yeah.
until someone does.
So, like,
and
there's
then there's like a connection,
Right. There's
I
a
love that.
store up north called Hairbrain. Right, and they do some really cool Chicago-centered like slogans. Like, I've got an Eagle Man T-shirt from them.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay, I know them. Yeah, I know.
Right,
I
and
know
then
of
they've
them.
got like a bunch of shirts that look like Chicago
Yeah.
pizza boxes.
Yeah.
Right, but it'll have taverns, it'll
Mm-hmm.
have hot dog shops, it'll have Italian beef places. Like, but it'll all, but it looks like, like on the pizza box how it's the Italy, the
Yeah,
Right,
the
yeah,
outline of Italy
yeah.
with different parts of Italy popped out. It's Chicago
That's cool
in
as
the
fuck.
exact same text and looks like it's a pizza box,
Yeah.
but it's got the landmarks or whatever street lines. So like that's another one. I got a CTA one from them.
Yeah.
And it like looks on the surface, it looks very like like happy or whatever. But then you realize like if you look closer, there's other shit going on in
Yeah.
the
Right.
background of the actual shirt. So it's
It's in
kind of
detail.
cool.
I feel like someone should get stoned on the stone Cadillac. Just sit there smoking on it.
I got stoned. I got stoned on the concrete Cadillac.
I wanted to actually ask you with like the sticker stuff and like unless there's places that you put them that you're not supposed to really actually be putting them.
Mm-hmm.
Where are some places that you might be like putting them where people might be able to find like some
I mean,
stuff?
Or you get
He doesn't put them anywhere. Where do your fans put them that you spot them?
or- Yeah,
Right.
where
fans,
I
yeah.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Like this
where-
fell out of a truck.
I've
Yep.
seen them in on the blue line, like inside a train.
Okay.
I've seen them on the sides of escalators. one-way streets, like the entrance to Lower Wacker.
All right.
The, little yellow gates that close on the bridge.
Yeah.
On those. Those disappear pretty fast. The city's pretty good about cleaning certain things up.
I heard if you look at Prickster at the right angle, you can see it on one of his cheeks.
So here's what I really want to see is I want to see one of the Lower Wacker stickers on a street cleaner.
Oh,
That's a new goal. I want to see that on a street cleaner.
Okay.
Those they're squirrely motherfuckers. Those things move fast,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you gotta
you gotta get them when they're empty.
gotta get them. Yeah.
You gotta get them when they're hooked up to a fire hydrant.
All right.
you should put on some.
That's what
tip.
the
It'd be
guys
nice
are-
to see him on
they're
a tow
like,
truck.
and they're like cleaning out the brushes and stuff.
Yeah. But
Put him on some tow trucks.
that's
Oh, yeah.
honestly,
Again,
I want tow
couldn't
tracks.
tell you the last
Yeah.
time I saw a city tow truck.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, they'll
except
put
for
some-
in your picture.
Yeah, right, we just saw one.
I think tow companies should celebrate that. I want them to sponsor this, right? I want them to
yeah.
be wearing this shit.
Yeah.
I want to make
At least the one in Lower
that's what
Wacker.
So there was
Lower
also an
Wacker. At least
older
in
like
Lower
folk
Wacker.
song called the Lincoln Park Pirates, which is all about the tow truck companies back in the day in Chicago that would just like hook you. So it was like,
Yeah.
No
and
shit.
it's like in the style of like a pirate song.
Nice.
That's
Those
like,
guys
yo,
are.
it's
Those guys are.
Yeah, it's like
sea
sea shanty,
shanty.
and
They're
they're like
crazy.
the
They're
Lincoln
crazy.
Park Pirates are we? Like that's even how the song goes.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I want to see like Lower Wacker stuff everywhere.
I want to see the underground casino.
And it's one of the yes. I want there to be an underground casino.
I mean, Bally's just stopped. Might as well have a chance now.
Did they stop or did they just go lower? Did they just maybe they went underground. Maybe
I think they just gotta
find them.
change vendors.
A little less tied up.
I think there's a lot of opportunity for people to, like
Wonderful.
continue celebrating like Lower Wacker especially because it's just fun
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
it's almost like a Chicago inside joke, and either you've experienced it in a negative way and you've lived to tell about it and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I get it, or you use it all the time and you're like, oh yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah.
Either way, it's
Yep.
just like
Right,
yeah,
and that
it's
was
a fun way to
me.
celebrate.
In high
You know-
school,
I
that
think
was,
it's like that.
You know,
It's
tonight
both ways.
Mo's gonna get all drunk and go down there looking for a King Club or BDSM now. Be like, where's the Lower Wacker King Club?
see, like,
There's
mean,
no
there's
laws
laws
down there.
of course. Yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. When they put up all those chain link fences, those little places kind of had to
And there's
disappear.
holes in those
Yeah,
fences.
that's where
I'm
that's
sure
where
there are.
Exit Bar King.
Exactly.
That's
You
where the S&M bondage night from Exit Bar moved to.
I may or may not
And-
confirm that.
And with that,
And with that,
All right.
this has been Effing Around with the Fuck Arounds. Thank you everybody for joining us. This is Mo,
Mike.
Joe.
and thank you for joining us, Levi.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thanks for coming.
Come find out, everybody.
don't
and
salute.
Have a good night.
Yeah, stop saluting. You're.
Sounds good. They're supposed to be lower.